HP, are you ready? What is going on, Full Heel Podcast? I am your host, Rafael Chaires, the host of the Full Heel Podcast. Joining me today, my buddy, Ryan Dempsey.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Full Heel Podcast proudly brings to you its favorite co-host ever, me.
The badass Billy Ryan?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Anything's better than X-Pac, I think.
I've seen people put online that they don't think that he was Six-Pac in NWO because of the 1-2-3 kid. It was 100% because of that.
Oh, for sure it was.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's no, because then that's where they took, the X-Pac came from that.
Yeah, people want to be like, he was a sixth member. I think he was a seventh or eighth member.
Yeah, he was, because after the first three, it was what you said, you had Ted DiBiase, and I think the Giant joined before him also, and then...
Vincent, I think, joined as well before him, and then him. I think he was seventh.
I think Vincent joined in with $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that one in the breakdown.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about the NWO. We're here to talk about the other faction. Yeah, the WWF's answer to the NWO. DX, D-Generation X. And right off the bat, Ryan, I'm going to hit you with the hard-hitting question. DX or NWO?
I go DX.
You go DX?
I do, because they kept it neater and cleaner. I think NWO, like, if you were to say the first, like, you go Bischoff with Hogan, Hall, and Nash, maybe Giant and X-Pac if you want to put those two in there also, that's cool. But the second you start getting, like, with Steiner and Bagwell and Scott Norton, and it just got so convoluted, and the storylines got all jumbled up, and it was NWO was always getting, no one was getting pushed except for the NWO. Whereas DX, I think they kept it clean when Shawn left, and they brought in the formation that we knew throughout the Attitude Era. They would go over guys, but they would put guys over at the same time. And I think WWE's writing worked better for DX than WCW's writing did for NWO.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why that storyline seems so crazy and like, what the hell? Why were there so many members of the NWO? Blah, 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 this. Do you know why that actually turned out how it turned out?
Was that part of the Japanese stuff?
No, it wasn't so the original plan was to expand the NWO to become its own brand and its own show, but the thing is it fizzled out and it never came to fruition.
Know that. That's right.
So they
were supposed to be NWO was going to be like the Nitro show, right? Yes. At first. Yeah, okay.
So they loaded up a roster and then they never executed with the beginning plan, which was to make its own show, which would NWO would take over, actually, I think Nitro, and WCW would move over to Thunder, and you would have pretty much a separation of shows. So they were loading up the roster so you can have live NWO jobbers and shit like that.
And they did that, too, because I remember that Nitro where they tore apart the set. Mm-hmm. Like, there was like a 8 to 10 minute segment of them just destroying the set with the tools and shit, and all the WCW stuff was taken down, and then the next week when Nitro went on, it was all NWO shit put up all over the place.
Yeah, they kind of loses focus, and it starts, shit starts hitting the fan, and
then it got weird when like, I like the Wolfpack, but they kind of got weird when they started breaking off like that, and then trying to keep it going with the NWO combination, and then the NWO 2000, and it just became too much. Like they had something great, I think, with the, say, 3 to 5 guys plus Bischoff and maybe Ted DiBiase. But I don't know. I think after, like, once they started building that thing, and they like bringing guys from like NWO Japan over to be in America, who fans had no idea who they were, and they would just do a couple spots and then they'd be gone again. Like, I think that just kind of hurt the NWO long term. I think it takes. Case in point is, Bischoff should have been there, but for the Hall of Fame last year when they were going to put the NWO in, they didn't have fucking Stevie Ray and all those guys in there for the reason that just led to the destruction of the NWO.
Yeah, but I guess enough of the NWO, and let's get into.
Plus, NWO never invaded Raw.
Yeah, they did.
Well, took them 5 years too late. It
Well, it was a shitty storyline, but they did.
was a horrible storyline.
Yeah. Well, we got that awesome stunner that what's his name
Well,
took.
it's like they always say, like Vince struck while the iron was cold.
Yeah, but so before we get into it, how you been, buddy? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, been good. We've been in lockdown. Like province is locked down for another 3 weeks, I think it is. So I've lucky enough I've been able to keep my job through the whole thing. So it's weird. We just the restaurant businesses kind of need to thrive on people eating and ordering food. So it was a rough month, but last Friday we finally reopened for takeout. So Windsor friends, if you're looking for a nice meal out, please order from Mezzo. Support not even just support Mezzo, support just local restaurants, man. Like anything you can do, if you're able to throw down a couple bucks. I know it's a lot hard for a lot of people this time, but if you're able to support small restaurants and that kind of stuff, please do.
Yeah, support local shit. Even though, Recco Benny's is, I guess, local to Chicago, and there's only one location now. So I guess that is kind of local. But still, support local spots. Same old with me. I'm going to be taking some leadership classes that I'm going to have to implement into the Full Heel podcast, get it more
Yeah, that's
professional.
great. Congrats on that. That's gonna be amazing for you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's long awaited, but well deserved. I fucking
Be able to walk in there with like the whip, and if someone's not working hard enough, just crack them one.
it's not my style, but I like to crack the whip. But
maybe a newspaper upside the head.
No, well, that's exactly what I'm going to go do is go learn how to deal with people, so I don't
Right.
fucking just go off at them for not for no reason, but even when they're acting like stupid idiots and they deserve it, I still won't be able to do it. That's what I'm gonna go learn pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, so like this past week, I had to take like stupid assessment quizzes and shit like that, so they can evaluate. I don't know.
I mean, you've been there long enough. I gotta believe that they see something good in you, right?
Well, like I've pushed for this, so like I've pushed and pushed to where people should be thanking me there because now they get to benefit from these same classes that I'm gonna go take, like other people, a couple other guys. So, like night shift people, across the street people. So now they get to benefit from me complaining, like, "Hey, come on, guys, let's go. I need my shit."
Right.
But no, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm happy they're doing this
man.
for me because this will give me a title. Like literally, it'll give me a title that I could put on a job application if I ever do need to get out of there.
Your big gold title.
Oh yeah, to go along with my big old title. But yeah, no, I'm happy.
When you walk up there and they say, "Raph, good news, we have a title for you." You said, "Too bad, I already got one."
Yeah.
Open up your coat.
Like, let me tell you something, Tony Schiavone. I am the world heavyweight champion of this professional business. Woo!
Yeah.
And then I slapped him across the chest. Dude, I've been watching a lot of I finished all of 1985 World Championship Wrestling, so I'm gonna be working on my promos, Daddy. And let me tell you something. Everyone says Daddy. Everyone fucking.
Yeah, it's that Southern thing, right?
Yeah, I guess. I was guessing it was a Dusty
be.
Rhodes thing, but Dusty Rhodes is from the South, and he would get it from there.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome, though. If I'm not gonna dwell on it, but if you guys are interested in watching WCW old school, I highly recommend it. I know Tony Schiavone and Conrad are talking about it right now, but I went to 85 and I'm gonna do 86, and I'm just I'm pretty much watching like 2 a day. I'm trying to get through like 2 a day, so I can get through all of WCW, catch up to when it ended, and then go through WWF, and then catch up to everything, so I can have my historian shit down.
Nice.
Because let me tell you, Daddy, in this professional business. Let's get into it, Ryan. So this is the DX episode, the D-Generation X episode. Let's see. Start off, I guess, the formation. I guess. So I kind of mentioned in the beginning, DX is the answer, WWF's answer to WCW's NWO. They're all part of the clique, though. That's the awesome part. Well, not the New Age Outlaws, but the original NWO founding members and the NWO are clique members. So
Yeah.
Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and X Pac. They're all clique members. X Pac, I'm not too sure what year it started, like 93 or 92. Started as 1, 2, 3 Kid. Or was
I
it
think
94?
It was definitely
early
definitely
90s.
on those early. He was definitely in those early Monday Night Raws with Razor Ramon, so it's got to be probably because I think he made his
94
debut
then.
as just the Kid.
Okay, yeah, then it's
So I
94.
think that's got to be like late '93, early '94, around there.
Yeah.
Probably '94 because when he beat the 1-2-3, or when 1-2-3 Kid beat him was when he turned face, and that Royal Rumble '94 he took on Brett, and he was a heel still, Razor. So it probably would have been after that.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3 Kids in the WWF. Razor Ramon debuts, I think 92.
End of
93.
'92, yeah.
And Shawn Michaels is there. He's broken up from his tag team. He's now on his own. IC champion. He's doing big things for himself. Wants to bring over Diesel from WCW. Brings over Diesel. The clique is formed. Boom. Oh, and Terrorizing also comes over, later known as Triple H.
So great.
He comes over from WCW, and he's the sober one. He's the sober one of the friends, so he drives everyone around, and there you have your clique. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall.
That is actually one of the best stories too. Like how they found out when they asked Triple H if he wanted to go hang out for drinks, and he said, "I don't drink, but I'll hang out with you guys." And they all looked at each other. They're like, "You want to hang out with us, and you don't drink," and they're all just like, "And this is all this." Well, for lack of a better term, it clicked.
Yeah, exactly. Shawn drank, but he needed his buddy. He found the big guy in fucking Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash, I've always heard that he can hold his shit, and he never got too out of control.
Scott Hall. No.
Well, that's a different story. Scott Hall, he's the guy that said, well, he already had made his friends. I'm going to go get paid in WCW. So he definitely looked for out. He wasn't getting paid at first, so he made friends with the boys. So
yeah,
he was already friends with these guys and then made friends with Nash. And I'm guessing the same tendencies with Shawn and the drug abuse clicked, in other words,
really.
with Scott Hall. But in what is it? Early 96 or mid 96, these guys, and by these guys I mean Razor Ramon and Diesel, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, decide to leave for the WCW, and they do. They take off and they form the NWO, leaving Shawn and Triple H there. I'm not too sure what happened with X-Pac because he wasn't around.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know if because he had
It took
he
him a
hurt
little bit.
himself, and I don't know if he may have been like on.
He might have been injured.
He may have been injured because I know he was in the $1 Million corporate, the $1 Million Corporation for a little bit. Around probably like, say 96, so he probably would have left after WrestleMania, maybe somewhere between the formation of the NWO and the end of '96. He would have jumped ship around there, I think, but I'm not sure. He was off camera for a bit, probably I think was that the neck injury, maybe been around there, and then he had the heel turn, and then he ends up in WCW.
Yeah, he's in WCW, and he's not even long there, but I guess we can get into that when we
he's
get
barely
into
there's like there like a year.
Yeah,
it seemed a lot longer, but I think basically in '97 and a touch of '96, and he's gone by '98.
Yeah, so I guess that brings us up to pretty much where we're going here, August 11th, 1997, on an episode of Raw. Do you have any lead up to this? I didn't put any lead up to this, to the formation of this.
Yeah, so basically, a lot of the whole attitude era with WWF started at SummerSlam, which is right around this time frame where Brett's feuding with The Undertaker, and he's feuding with Shawn at the same time. They got the Hart Foundation's going strong. Brett wins the title after Shawn hits Taker for the chair.
I think we've even covered this.
I think we did cover that one. And then, so from there, it was kind of like a Shawn and Taker rivalry that starts off throughout end of September of August into September and October. And during all of that, um, the Hart Foundation's feuding with the Patriot, with Undertaker, with Mankind, like with all the American big superstars. Shawn Michaels, Triple H start getting involved as well. But the one thing, this goes to the WWF storylines that we've talked about back then, is the way that they were to cross the paths all throughout. And we got there.
Some
So the
Woodford Reserve Kentucky
oh,
Straight
nice.
Malt Whiskey.
Look at you go tonight, eh?
I'm a whiskey guy now, bro.
Hey,
Take a shot or two for the show. Get loosened up. I took a shot before the show, like
I
right
dig
before
it.
we started. So shot number
Yeah,
2, and
so
I'll be good for the night. No more. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm gonna start
yeah,
drinking whiskey though.
you're not gonna just drink from the bottle.
I'm a gentleman, bro.
Yeah. No, so so around this time they started doing some Raw shows where Mankind's been feuding with Triple H. Well, Hunter Hearst Helmsley at this time they've been feuding for a while, and Taker and Shawn are now in a feud. So what they would do is they went on Raw and they had Triple H take on Undertaker and Mankind take on Shawn Michaels, and depending on who was in the match, the other guy would kind of get involved in some way, shape, or form, which culminated ultimately in just a tag team match of Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Undertaker and Mankind, and that's pretty much like the very, very beginning of it. Like they've interfered in each other's matches, and now they're going to be in the tag match. And from there, they kind of start running roughshed. They start hanging out more backstage. They're on camera more. They get, yeah, like I said, they pay-per-views. I think they get involved I think it was Ground Zero was the September pay-per-view, and then led into the October pay-per-view where DX was well formed by then. I think there was you shared it up today. Was October 13th? Was the day where they're doing that famous promo. They both got the Monday Night Raw shirts on, and Sean looks, well, I'm from Generation X, but I'm not really, I'm more of a degenerate. Would you say
Yes.
I'm a degenerate? Would you say, and then right then and there, it was born, Degeneration X. It's formed with, China joins, obviously, as Hunter's bodyguard, and Rick Rude joins as Sean's insurance policy, they called him.
Yeah.
And it was, the irony was because Rick Rude could only do that angle because
Lords
that's
of
how
London thing.
yeah, that's how he could collect his insurance policy, was not by wrestling. So
Yeah.
there's a kind of like a little play on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the big formation, was just interacting in each other's matches and crossing the rivalries that they were having at the time, allowing the tag team to start, and then from there off they went.
Yeah. Ah. Whew, 2 shots to loosen me up pretty good. Yeah, so the following week on Raw, after the insurance policy, Michaels and Triple H team up to take on Mankind and The Undertaker. They lose by disqualification when Michael hits Undertaker with a chair, continuing with the feud that, him and The Undertaker would have. Michaels would eventually face The Undertaker at Ground Zero in Your House September 7th that year. October 6th, 1997, Raw. This is the episode where, you kind of mentioned it, where they named themselves, but it's Bret Hart calls them nothing more than a bunch of degenerates.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then the following week, it's like 2 weeks where he calls them degenerates, and then the following week, October 13th, 1997, Michaels makes that famous promo where they're in the back. He's like, you know what? We're a bunch of degenerates, blah, blah, this. And then he's like, we're Degeneration X. Degeneration X. And they both look at each other all crazy. Their face reactions are what really sells it. Their antics are what really gets people going. It's, what would you call it? College humor?
Yeah, frat boy humor.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah, probably the fair way.
And this will bring us into our first match, because we like picking matches that kind of center around their career, or interesting matches that I haven't seen that I kind of would like to see, and then, touch them on the going down their career. So November 9th, 1997, Survivor Series. This is the Montreal Screwjob. Everyone's talked about it. Everyone's beat the dead horse, but we're going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, and I picked this one because me and you have talked about this match briefly in the Brett episode
Yep.
and in the Survivor Series '97 episode that we did, but we never. But I think we talked more about it wasn't more about the DX angle as much as it was just about the match itself.
Hmm.
So I mean, this was like DX heat. I mean, there was Sean humping the Canadian flag on TV, rolling it up his nose with it, blowing it, like doing all that, and now going into Montreal, like so, like they're. I mean, this is like as heel as you can be. This is like '70s, early '80s heel tactics that you didn't really see get that extreme for a while. I feel, especially in WWF, they went really cartoony and PG through the late '80s into the '90s. So at this point in time, to see a heel work in this style was fairly unheard of, I think. Um, and the reception that Sean and gets when he walks out there, I mean, the Bell Center blew up.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
No, the fucking music started playing. I don't think you could hear it for that.
Oh,
One of the videos came up. uh, it's a pretty short match. I thought it was gonna be a longer match. It's only 12 minutes long, but
yeah, and I
everything
mean,
gets done that needs to be
but of
done.
those 12 minutes too, like it's a good solid like 5 to 6 minutes of it is outside the ring. It's not even like for two guys known for their in-ring abilities, and Sean's back's not like messed up at this point. He hasn't done he's done the Hell in a Cell bump that kind of hurt him, but he hadn't done the casket match yet that ultimately put him out of commission for the 5 years there. So for two guys that are known for their in-ring abilities, it was weird to see them not really show it as much, I guess,
Hmm. Yeah, they beat the shit out of each other in the crowd to the point where I got a little uncomfortable with it because people are running from everywhere, and I'm one of those guys that's not getting out of my chair. Like fuck you. I'm not
Right.
getting up. I'm watching the show and I'm enjoying the show. And if it comes around me, that's fucking awesome. I'm not going over there to try to touch the talent. And everyone is just storming them, running from everywhere, trying to touch Sean or trying to touch Brett. And they they go back and then they hit the Titan trying to think a little bit, come back in. They incorporate is it the Montreal flag? I know it's a Canadian flag of sorts.
Yeah, the blue fleur de lis flags.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
that's
flag.
the Quebec flag. Yeah,
Okay, so Brett starts choking Sean with it, and then Sean eventually takes over, and then he starts choking Brett with it. And then they kind of have like a 6 minute match. It's not even that long of a match. They try to get all their shit in, and they try to hit that famous spot.
right.
The Shawn Michaels hitting or locking in the sharpshooter.
And you got to think too. It's not like that match was going to be another 8 to 10 minutes either. Because when Sean locked in the sharpshooter, the idea was that Brett would reverse it, and that would be the end of the match. So when like that match was going to be an in and out kind of deal, regardless of what Brett thought the finish was supposed to be and all that kind of stuff. Like, they were not given a lot of time at all, it seems. But I don't know if there was just like the heat for Sean, if they wanted to try and get him in and out, like regardless of the finish or what. But it was a quick one.
Yeah, it definitely was a quick one. I'd seen that match so many times, and I when you picked it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long one. Threw it on, and I'm like, what? That was quick.
Yeah,
But I guess anything is quick compared to their fucking Iron Man match that they had.
that's true too. Yeah, when you're going an hour long, anything after that would definitely seem a lot shorter.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
But then you get the second time because now first it was it Manchester when Sean gets the belt from Davy Boy and China and Hunter are walking him out, and then you get the Hell in a Cell. And China and Hunter are carrying him out, and then you get here at Survivor Series, China and Hunter again, like arms in arms, like all the gold around their waist now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I mean, and that was it too. Like, like now DX is like, if there was any doubt about how heel they are, because now they're involved in one of like the most infamous moments in wrestling, um, and and in on it. So they're going to be hated in the locker room just as much as they're hated by the fans.
Yeah, and they start poking at it right away. They beat up Neidhart. They invite him and kind of force him to join the end, or not the end of the D.
Yeah, they do. They did the NWO skit of join us,
Mm-hmm.
and then with the ultimate betrayal of tricking them and shit.
And then they beat him up and spray painted him with WCW.
Yeah.
So they did kind of the exact same thing. Uh,
I mean, and this also leads to basically the entire Hart Foundation's gone. And Owen's the only one that ends up staying.
Yeah.
Davey jumps and Neidhart jumps.
Mm-hmm. So they go off to WCW. Let's see.
Well, and the fun thing is because it hurt them. It hurt those two guys because Brett being in WWE was the only reason why they would ever get their job back. Every time they got fired for something, it was Stu Hart that would call Vince and get them their job right back. So now that Brett's gone, it's even harder for those guys to find work in WWF. They would have to go down south.
Yeah. And then Rude being pissed about the Montreal Screwjob, he takes off to WCW as well. On November 17th, 1997, he appears on Raw, but also appears on a live show of WCW Nitro because Raw is taped. They do one live show and then they tape their show and then they show the taped one as a live one the next week.
Yeah, which is absolutely amazing. The fact that you can never, there will never be another time when that happens.
No,
because it's very shortly thereafter. I think maybe a year of tape shows before once the ratings flipped the switch for WWF's favor. That's when they started doing just live all the time.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna have to compete with WCW. WCW's doing live all the time.
Yeah.
So you got to compete. Let's see. What we got next on my notes? After that, after Rude leaving and joining WCW, joining the NWO, on November 24th, that's when they invited Neidhart, sorry, and don't let him into the group. On December 1st, 1997, Triple H defeated Neidhart and D-Generation X. Did it fucking put that again? Oh, no. They, yeah, right? Okay, no. First it was fake, and then they beat him up, and then they spray paint him. It's over. It's over a couple of weeks, not just like 1 week. So I guess on December 1st they beat him up as well. This leads to and then Slaughter and Shamrock come out to help. This leads to Slaughter versus Triple H at the DX in your house pay-per-view in the boot camp match.
This is where you get some fucking fantastic segments too. Like this is where like DX is cutting promos that are just unbelievable. Like the shit that they like, and like you were saying, the college humor, the frat boy humor. Giving Michael Cole a wedgie, or having one guy bend over behind him, they would push him, he'd fall over. Shit that you do as you're a kid. And then when Slaughter would speak, they were pretending that they're getting spit on, so they come out with those giant face masks with the windshield wipers and stuff. Like, I mean, these guys knew about COVID fucking 20 years earlier.
Yeah, can we get some DX face shields with windshield wipers? That'd be pretty cool.
But seriously, like these guys, like they were cutting some great promos at this time, and it just kind of sucks that they didn't have anything to go up against. Like The Rock wasn't The Rock yet. Stone Cold was, just coming back from the neck injury and just coming into his own, but he was feuding with the Nation. So he wasn't against DX yet, and Brett's gone. So it's just basically DX is kind of like the NWO, just making fun of anyone, and that was about it. Which like if they had some back and forth, it would have made for a lot better TV, because Taker didn't talk the way that they did, and that's who Shawn was going after at this point, and he going up against Ken Shamrock, who was terrible on the stick. But yeah, you go back and you watch some of those late '97 DX promos, man. Oh,
Brett worked so well with him because he was corny to the point where they could make fun of him. Like he was so serious and corny. They were like, ah, look at this guy.
exactly, yeah.
And
Except
but he was gone.
except when Brett dropped the F bomb, that was a rough one, man. So you go back and watch some '97, and you got like it was Gold Dust calling out Jerry King Lawler calling out Gold Dust, Brett calling out the DX.
Yeah.
I mean, they were dropping some slang terms that might not pass like even 3 years later.
So Owen stays, and he has like a match with Shawn, but nothing comes of it, and he eventually wins the European title off of Triple H. Triple H wins it back pretty quick too.
Yeah, that was the other the end of '97 match was Shawn versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley for the European title.
Yeah,
and they think that Slaughter's like, I finally got one over. If you don't defend it, blah 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 blah. So he goes out, and this is how you're supposed to do the finger poke of doom.
December 22nd on Raw. Shawn and Triple H.
Like you look back at the finger poke of doom and how terrible it was. You watch how these guys did it and how come it worked, right? Because you have to make it a specific way. Like how do you get over on authority or whatever like that? You just make a joke of it.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking yeah, like
I don't remember who they're trying to get over besides themselves in WCW or in the NWO angle.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like NWO was supposed to be Nash versus Hogan, and for some reason they decided to. I don't know if they were trying to copy what Shawn and Hunter did. I don't know, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work at all. Let's see. Yeah, so that was December 22nd, and then so January 18th, Austin wins the 1998 Royal Rumble by eliminating The Rock and getting his shot at Shawn Michaels, which later on or during this pay-per-view gets hurt by hitting his back off of the casket. He just gets flipped over the ropes and his back hits the casket.
Yeah, I don't know if he was supposed to land on the casket or if he was just supposed to go all the way over it.
Mm-hmm.
But
his back clips.
He missed it and he hit that corner coming down at that momentum. Like,
I think he fucks up 3 discs, completely herniating one of them.
Yeah,
which will later on lead to his hiatus of 5 years.
Yeah, and that's why you didn't get a title at the February pay-per-view. They just kind of had him cutting promos against Austin.
Mm-hmm. And Triple H was hurt as well, so it was kind of weird. So you had the New Age Outlaws teaming with someone else against, I forgot who.
Yeah, no, you had you would have Austin taking on Billy Gunn, or Austin taking on the Road Dogg or whoever, and then like DX would get involved and they'd like tie him up to the ropes and stuff, or they would just like, jump him or something.
Yeah.
Like,
and these were like the first stages of the New Age Outlaws and what we're gonna see.
Yeah, they're coming out. They were still at that time where whatever city they were in, they would come out wearing a Rivals like sports jersey just to get the crowd riled up because they didn't even have the gear really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
October 7th, 1997 is when the New Age Outlaws form. Is when they Rockabilly breaks away.
That's when Rockabilly joins the Road Dogg.
Yeah. So we have DX from that point on. So what we've had him for October, November, December. This is January, so we've had him for 4 months now.
Yeah. The Shawn and Hunter thing seemed a lot longer than it really was, eh?
Yeah, I remember DX as I kind of want to remember as all of them with Shawn, but Shawn wasn't in there with all of them. That's the crazy part when you go back and I was a kid, but when you go back and you look at it, you're like, what? Shawn wasn't in there when all of them were part of the DX? It's like, nope. He was the reason that they got the other member. Well, I guess we'll get into it. Yeah, so Shawn hurts himself on the casket match. January 20th, he hurts his back in the casket match. January 26, 1998, Vince names Tyson as a special guest referee. Austin flips off Mike, challenges him to a fight. Vince makes Mike the special guest enforcer because the situation is getting too crazy. On February 2nd, 1998, DX attack Austin during a match with Road Dogg.
And let's not forget also when he flips him off and they do that shoving match I know it's been pointed out by everybody under the sun, but watch how panicked they are trying to pick up $10,000 that Tyson had in his pocket.
Oh
That
shit.
just exploded all over the ring. They were all of Tyson's fucking entourage are flopping all over the ring trying to gather the money.
Yeah.
Great.
So they're trying to simmer this concoction to the perfect boiling point at WrestleMania. Sean's hurt. We need to get him there for one last match so he can drop the title to Austin, which won the Royal Rumble. He's super hot right now. We have Tyson in the angle, which is going to take it astronomical. This angle is going to make them win the wars pretty much. Well, eventually, it's part of what
this
leads
is the
to
final.
it.
This
Yeah.
is like if they planted the seeds and they've been watering it, and this is like the crop has just started to sprout at this point with this angle.
Yeah. These are key moments of the building blocks of Stone Cold, or the early stages of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not even the building blocks; he's already Stone Cold. But
Yeah,
these
this
are
is where
big moments.
This is where he like becomes like
He gets his
he's
title.
he's been the like the brawler because of the broken neck in mid '97. So you would, but this is where he really starts to come into his own as like that badass lone Texas rattlesnake, if you would.
March 17th, Austin called out Vince McMahon and attacked him for describing Tyson as the baddest man on the planet. We all know Austin was
We
called.
missed the Shawn versus Tyson match.
Oh, they had a match?
Well, it's the one where they got ready because Shawn had a problem with Tyson also, right? Because Austin wasn't the only one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when they go to punch him, and as Shawn goes, he grabs his shirt and he leans back, and he grabs the shirt, rips it open, and it's a DX
Yeah,
shirt,
yeah.
and Tyson joins DX,
Mhm.
and the cards are even more stacked against Austin now because now DX is a new member, and it's the enforcer for the match.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's kind of, we'll talk about it, I guess, at the end of the match that's coming up at WrestleMania. So March 29th, 1998, WrestleMania 14. Austin beats Shawn. I'm surprised none of us picked this match. Austin beats
Yeah,
beat up Shawn. Well, that's what should have happened anyway. People thought that Shawn might not have wanted to drop the title. There's stories of the Undertaker saying that he was gonna fucking fuck him up if he didn't drop the title to Austin, but he does it when. So Tyson's wearing a DX shirt, but he still counts to 3, and he does a fast count too for Austin, and then
yeah, the referee gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And
because he was the enforcer. Sorry, so that's why.
yeah, so the ref's knocked out. So Tyson, but it was a nice little finish too, like where Shawn sets it up for Sweet Chin Music. Austin blocks it, kick to the gut.
Iconic.
Shawn blocks the kick to the gut, turns Austin around, misses again, and then like there was a good like transition back and forth before he hits the stunner and goes down. And Tyson, and that's the thing. Tyson even said that he messed up. It was supposed to be a 3 count, but he got so caught up in the moment that he accidentally counted fast. It was supposed to go down just as a regular 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, and that's it. But he's like, I just got so excited, I fast counted it.
And then at the end of the match, Austin calls for a shirt, some beers. He gives a shirt to Tyson, and for some reason, he drapes the Austin 316 shirt on
Tyson.
Shawn, but he keeps the DX shirt on. Austin's like, yeah, whatever, and they just leave. But I was like, okay, that's kind of stupid.
Because Austin, like, yeah, because Tyson knocks out Shawn with that punch.
Yeah, sorry. So, once Shawn gets up, he's like, hey, what the fuck, dude? He's like, you were on my side. And he kind of grabs him by the shoulder because Mike's like, yeah, what the fuck, whatever. And Shawn grabs him, and this guy just fucking decks him and knocks him out, and then the celebration begins. It's a celebration, bitches.
And if you go back and you listen to Tyson's intro music, it's the music that eventually becomes X-Pac's theme song.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So after this, Shawn has to retire. March 38th, the next day on Raw, Triple H calls out Shawn Michaels for dropping the ball over the Tyson incident.
Yeah, this is a great promo that Shawn does.
They're Triple H.
Sorry, yeah, like he comes, saying like how he had to always make sure you're sure, yeah, you're sure, yeah, and all that stuff, and he never really believed Tyson and stuff like that.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? How it started off as Shawn the leader. I was just thinking about that right now. Shawn was the leader, and Triple H was the sidekick. And if you look at it, how like once Triple H took over, he became larger than life, and he
Yeah,
had the longer career as the guy on top. And
yeah, he
like,
really did.
yeah, and it works out towards the end where if you look at it, to me, it looked like Mysterion to me. It looks like Triple H is the leader of it. Like it turned around towards the end. Like if you look at it from one end to the other, it goes from Shawn leader, Triple H sidekick to, I guess they could both be the leader, but I see it more as Triple H
Well,
as the
and
guy.
we'll see later on when like during like other incarnations, like Sean's no longer the man of it. He's the secondary character.
Hmm. Well, I guess it's never really serious again. A little bit, I guess. We're gonna talk about it. So DS expands on
But
Raw.
they do like the great thing too when Sean or when Hunter says, you know, when you need help, you look to your friends, you look to the click,
Yeah.
and
X
and I mean,
Pac.
does it? I don't even know if he had a name here because the fans at WWF knew him as 123 Kid. WCW fans knew him as Six.
Hmm.
And I don't like. I think Jim. I might be drawing a blank, but Jim Ross may even said Sean Waltman when he comes out. I don't know if they mentioned uh, X Pac right off the bat. Um,
Yeah, I don't know either.
fuck
Should
it.
have gone back and watched.
I forget what they say, but fuck, man, X Pac cuts a scathing promo on Bischoff and Hogan and
Yeah.
WCW and
Hey pal,
how
you said I
Hall and
couldn't
Nash.
cut the mustard. Well, guess what, Hogan? You suck.
Yeah, yeah, that's. But then saying how um, Hall and Nash wanted out,
Hmm.
but Bischoff wouldn't let them out of their contracts and stuff. Like, it was like
Now that I
I
look at it, Chael Sonnen stole that from X Pac.
yeah
Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck.
yeah.
He's that son of a bitch. He plagiarized X Pac.
Yeah, and this is fun. This is where WWF they Vince always made sure you'd never mention the other company.
Hmm.
And X Pac comes out, and within 2 minutes of fucking being back in the company, he's dropping WCW, NWO, Bischoff, Hogan, like no tomorrow. And that's something that Vince was super against after that whole debacle with billionaire Ted skits. He tried his hardest to never bring up the competition after that.
Well, that's because it came back and bit him in the ace.
Yeah.
He talked about it, and people were like, "Those are awesome. Those skits are awesome." And for some reason, it helped out WCW.
Yeah, it got more eyes on them to see like people started seeing like, oh, what this is going on, and then people wanted to go see
Hmm.
the Nacho Man and the Huckster.
Yeah, and that's because these guys no sold them too.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, cool. We're getting under Vinnie Mac's skin. Awesome.
yeah, exactly.
Let's see. So they recruit X Pac after that awesome promo. They recruit
And
X
then
Pac.
they announced that there's one more surprise still to come later that night.
Yeah. The WWF Tag Team Champions, the New Age Outlaws, the badass Billy Gunn, and the Road Dogg Jesse James. The New Age Outlaws. They're taking on. Well, this is the match you picked, right?
Yeah, they're because they're taking on the tag team champions.
Yes.
Is that WrestleMania? Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie won the tag titles from the New Age Outlaws in the dumpster match, but the Outlaws came back and said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!
That
The
was an official
dumpster was at
dumpster.
ringside. That was not the official dumpster that we were put in to lose that match, so it shouldn't count." And because everyone knows if it's not regulation dumpster, then the match can't end that way. So
Those are the
back they
rules, bro.
go.
Them's the
Yeah,
rules.
rules are the rules.
Yeah, them's the
Even though
rules.
even though in ladder matches they got 15,000 ladders, everything goes. But God forbid in a dumpster match, it has to be that one.
Well, I think we've seen it before. Didn't we watch like the first two couple of ladder matches where
Oh
in this
yeah,
the second match one of them breaks, so like
yeah,
eventually they
it's
had to add
super
more.
bendy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 because it
that's
got
right.
all
Yeah,
fucked up and it lost its base, and like it was getting kind of hard to get up on it because they had used it so much against each other. So the second one, they're like, hey, we need to start adding more ladders into this bitch.
Yeah, just to make sure. But yeah, so you were gonna get the steel cage match to wrap up the night. Your main event, tag team championship on the line, Outlaws and versus Cactus and Chainsaw Charlie, and it's fucking brutal. That's what these guys wanted, right? The Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie had no. This is the thing too with those two guys is that they could go over, and if you had to get someone over and make them look heel, they would take the chair shot. They would take the shot to the off the cage. They would take whatever it took to do, and motherfucker, they did it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this was in kayfabe. Chainsaw Charlie is like his hip is bruised as fuck.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a spot from WrestleMania that came from, because if that was makeup, that's perfect makeup.
Oh yeah, they had the match the night before. I forgot.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely had to. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a legit bump.
Mm-hmm. No, like you said, it was a crazy ass match. You have Terry Funk, one of the greatest top.
Yeah, Mick Foley and Terry Funk, two guys that like just didn't give a fuck.
Both top 3 most hardcore of all time. Who
Yeah,
are more hardcore
Sabu.
than those guys?
Maybe Sabu, maybe.
Well, like he'd probably be in the top 3.
You know what? Actually, I would say there's probably a couple guys over in Japan,
mm-hmm.
but because I've you see highlights of those matches, but I don't go to my way necessarily to watch like all those like matches. But I mean, they were over there,
like the eat glass match. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I mean, there was like Axel Rotten and Ian Rotten when they would have like those Taipei death matches where they'd have like stuffed, kayfabe or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I mean,
I guess
they had ECW had some guys, but I mean, a lot of it more was, I feel like, gimmick after a while than actually. Though Terry Funk and Cactus Mick Foley, if you definitely made it mainstream.
Yeah. I guess out of the most famous hardcore guys,
I would say they're definitely the top 2 most well known.
Yeah.
That's probably a very fair statement.
Especially becoming world champions, one in ECW. I think, no, I don't think I know Terry Funk was NWA champion. And then you have Mankind was world heavyweight champion for.
Yeah, he won 2 or 3 WWE titles.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he ever won the WCW title, though.
No, he had some matches in WCW for the title, but he never won it.
Yeah, no, you always had. Well, I'm going to get to it eventually. I guess I'm 10 years away, but Ric Flair he's been champion right now. He dropped it, little sidetrack. He dropped it to Dusty, but they did some crazy shit where the ref was knocked out, and the ref saw that Arn came out, so he said that was the last thing he saw, and he waved it off, but he got knocked out right when it happened. So then a second ref came out and counted for Dusty, and he pinned Rick, but then on the next night they had to overturn it because Rick talked to his lawyers, and he wasn't the official ref, and
see, regulation ref,
mm-hmm.
just like the regulation dumpster.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm getting to put the faces to all the names I've heard. Buddy Landell, the Raging Bull, what's his name? First name something Fernandez. Freddie Fernandez, something like that. But I know I'm getting to know them a lot more. But now I'm getting to see the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express all day. Every so often,
Manny Fernandez.
Yeah, Manny Fernandez. There you go. The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. But do you have like tons of jobbers too, like straight up jobbers? But like I've said it here once, and I'll say it again. If I was born in I'd have to be born in I guess the '60s. But if I was 30, if I was this age in that era, dude, I'd be fucking world champion, bro. They'd be putting the title on me, bro. They wouldn't help it. They'd be like, dude, what can we get for your champion?
I miss those old school 80s jobbers, man.
Dude, you'd see me come out there and be like, Tony Schiavone, I am the world heavyweight champion of this professional business.
But that's the thing, right? Like, you would come out there, you're the world heavyweight champion, and your opponent in the corner would be, have like, just like the most like generic name, like hey, and then and his opponent Jimmy Plug, and it's like some guy who like looks like he was like a teacher, and had like a mustache and a comb over, and he's like, hey, want to make $50 here? Put this on and go lay down in the ring for 5 minutes, like the we go look at the jobbers from the 80s and the early 90s, man, it was brutal. Like the best thing that they ever did was start having guys go up against each other on TV shows,
Dude,
not just the pay-per-views and house shows. Like when TV tapings started becoming more about all the superstars taking on all the superstars, game changer.
yeah, I would have been world champion, bro. Missed my opportunity. I was born in the wrong era. But let me tell you something, Ryan Dempsey. I'm not going to let this next opportunity get away from me, daddy. I'm going to grab the bull by its horns and I'm going to take it down. And when I take it down, daddy. Go ahead. Sorry.
So you know what your problem is, though. You got to remember, if you're there in the 80s, you got to watch out for what company you signed to, because Hogan got a pose.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, you might think that you're getting that title opportunity, but
dude, they need Mexican stars like Pedro Martinez. They put the title on him for a whole year, bro. Whole year, more than a year.
You know what you should have? You know what you could have done? If you get a time machine, you go back there, you walk into WCW with a little hat on and a cape, and you go, "Hi, I'm El Matador," and you take Tito Santana's gimmick 10 years before he.
Well, I was gonna say, Manny Fernandez and me are gonna have some problems because I'm El Toro and he's the Raging Bull. So there's gonna be some. There's gonna be some classic Mexican strap matches going on, or Mexican death matches going on. Ooh. Between me and Manny Fernandez.
You know what? I just realized it would have been a fantastic WrestleMania main event that they never did.
Me versus Manny Fernandez? Yeah.
No, El Matador, Tito Santana against Mantar.
Yeah.
You could have it there with that cape and dance out of the way.
Give me $10,000, that'd be Mantar. I bet they paid him more.
Give me $5,000, I'd be Mantar.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Mantar for free, to be honest. Just give me credit. Just give me the credit at the end of the show.
All you gotta do is, you're just wearing that hat down to the ring, and then you take it off, then your face is on camera.
Yeah.
I mean, it might look silly, but fuck, who cares?
Man, I definitely felt those 2 shots. Feeling good, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So the cage match ends with DX getting involved. X-Pac and Hunter come in with Chyna, and they what do you call it? They handcuff. Was it they handcuff Terry Funk to the cage, and Outlaws get the titles, and it ends with a DX member on all 4 sides of the cage, putting up the X, and now we're off to the races. DX is gonna go, and we're gonna start a rivalry with the Nation now.
Yeah, DX feuds with the Nation of Domination, the Corporation, throughout 1998. Goddamn. Early 99, like April. I guess April 27th. This is after WrestleMania.
Yeah, because WrestleMania was March.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is the month after April 27th, 1998. Raw Nitro both took place in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, 19 miles apart. So DX drove up in a Jeep. Was it a Jeep or was it a tank? Or was it a Jeep car, like dressed up as a tank?
It was a Jeep, because they had I remember Sean. Hunter standing at the back with like that fake gun as they're driving through the streets. I remember there being a tank, but I don't remember if it was maybe just.
Well, they had multiple of these, so in one of them it might have been a.
Yeah, I think they used the tank at one point, and then they ended up switching over into the. I think they used the Jeep to get to Nitro from wherever, just because of parking logistics. I don't know if they could have a tank driving through.
Yeah, I don't think so, because our fraternity is a knight, like our mascot is a knight, and we have a sword. And one time we're like going to a public display of our fraternity, like we were doing like forget what they call it. They call it a probate, like where you go and
Okay, yeah,
you
yeah.
present your members, and we're walking there and like we have swords and shit. They're not sharpened or nothing, but like the cop stopped one of our guys and he's like, "What do you have there?" And the guy's like, "Ceremonial sword," and he's like, "You can't be walking around town like with that." And he's like, "It's not even sharp," and he took it away, and we had to like go pick it up at the station or something, some
That's
bullshit.
funny.
Yeah, like a bunch of Mexicans walking around with a sword, like we knew what to do with it. It's a bow and arrow. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Sword.
That's
I
funny.
guess you just swing it, right? But
Yeah, it's still used as a, I'm sure, some of a blunt weapon.
yeah,
But no, but they did some fantastic. Like, I love when they got the camouflage. They got like the army hat with the twig sticking out, and hunters fucking getting them into battle shape and stuff like that, getting them all prepared. Like we're going to war with WCW and
yeah.
shit.
He wasn't
And
trying
I
to get
like,
to war. He was trying to save his buddies. He was trying to save Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
well, and I was gonna say, like, I love the fact that Nash and Hall have gone on record and saying, like, we were in the back watching on TV. We thought it was fucking hilarious. We were dying. Like, we were kind of like, I forget who said it, but they said, like, if we, I think Nash said if we were there, we would have let them in. And
Well,
Hunter said if we got in, we didn't really have an end game of what
yeah.
would happen.
So
Like,
Bischoff said in retrospect he let a golden opportunity slip by his fingertips by not letting them in. He's like by closing the door, we gave them what they wanted. He's like, if we left the door open and they came in, what were they gonna do?
yeah,
He's like, were they gonna start tearing everything up and risk getting arrested?
yeah,
Like he's like, what were they gonna do? He's like, they were gonna come in and the skit was gonna end and then they were gonna get arrested. He's like,
yeah.
if they came in and did anything, they were gonna get arrested. He's like, by closing the door, I fucked up and I let a golden opportunity by me not exposing DX. In retrospect, because he and Conrad
But
have
it's
talked
funny.
about it.
But it's funny too because at the same time, it's like he was known for the like he because from his point of view was his book is controversy creates cash, right?
Hmm.
He had no problem on his TV show letting guys do that, but I think he wasn't more afraid too of like WWF guys, like WWF TV having these guys break into the building. Like once you have them walking into the building, it's all of a sudden like they win that. Right? I mean, like that would be it. Like he didn't want them to get into the building because that shows that WCW can't protect themselves and shit like that. But so I mean, locking the door was obviously the best thing to do because WWF was going to win if they go in there.
Hmm.
So it was the smart thing to do was to keep them out. But then the bad thing to do was to keep them out because, like you said, well, like he said, hindsight being 2020, um, you want those guys they come in. What do you do?
Hmm.
Like, what are they gonna do? Shake hands with their buddies? You're gonna beat up some jobbers and take off? Like what would they do? Like if Nash and Hall said, "Yeah, let's go for the ride," and they kidnap them, okay, it looks even worse on Bischoff. It's hard. I mean, it's
It
who
would have
knows
driven
how
eyes to WCW as
it
well.
it
People would have been like, "Oh my
that
god,
would,
we need to tune in."
yeah, we need to put on, yeah, like if you're watching Raw and you want to say, I wonder if what they're showing on Nitro, and then you would see those guys on Nitro, then you get the ratings blip on the other side.
Yeah, or like
I mean,
the Stefan Bonner,
oh,
Forrest
Stephen
Griffin
Bonner and Forrest Griffin, yeah,
during the
they were
fight.
still
Everyone's like, "Hey,
calling,
dude, these guys are beating the fuck out of each other. You gotta tune in."
yeah,
And I was like, "All right."
and that's the thing. Like, it's like who knows how we've talked about this in other episodes, right? You never know how it's gonna play out. It played out the way it played out, and that's all you can do. Like, you can say hindsight's 50-50, I should let them in, they would have been exposed, but at the same time, if they show up and they walk into the building and WWF does not go any further and WCW doesn't show anything because then what?
Hmm.
If those guys just go in there and just hang out in the back and there's no WCW cameras to capture anything and WWF stops filming the second that DX goes into the locker room or something or into the building, then what's Bischoff going to do? Like if he has no proof of anything. So I mean it's all how you can't prepare for something like that, right?
Yeah,
Like especially when it was like the surprise thing. Like WCW didn't know what to do
he did
because
what we all thought was gonna happen. That's why we were disappointed, but not like, what the fuck? It was like, we knew this. Like, we knew it was not gonna happen. We knew they weren't
And
gonna
that's
let
the
him
thing
in.
too. Like he says, like if they would have been exposed as being frauds or whatever,
Hmm.
don't forget when they got to the thing and they tried to get in, the security guard said, "Sorry, you can't come in here." DX said, "Okay," and they just turned and left.
Hmm.
So they were kind of exposed right there anyway. Really, like if they were supposed to be those super tough degenerates, they would not have just turned away at the security. They would have said, "Fuck you," and they would have beat them up and ran in.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were technically they were exposed in some way.
Hmm.
Like the door was locked. Oh, you couldn't break it down.
Break it
Like
down, Banner. Went out.
it's like it's so for Bishop to say that that's fair, but he did expose them in some ways, and it didn't change anything. But I mean, when things just play out the way that they play out, and that's it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Dude, Kurt Angle's got a podcast on Conrad's Network
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that was dropping
this week.
soon. Yeah, is it this week?
Yeah. Well, it's already out if you're on his Patreon or whatever.
Oh, the ad-free shows thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Episode 2 is going to drop when episode 1 drops for everyone that doesn't pay. Like me. That's a roundabout way of saying I don't pay. I just listen to the free one.
Yeah, yeah. I love when they're like, "Oh, you have to wait 2 extra days, and you have to listen to ads." No, I wait like an extra 2 days, and I hit skip when the
Mhm.
ads start playing. Like it's not the end of the world. You don't have to listen to the ads.
Well, I listen to the ads because my fingers are greasy or blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
that's yeah. But I mean,
or I'm at
like you
work.
don't
Yeah.
have like the way it's
Yeah,
making it
but you don't
sound is
have
like
to.
you
Like
have
when
to
I
like
don't
you
when I'm taking a dump at work, I'll be like fast forward, fast forward, fast
skip,
forward.
skip. Yeah.
Uh, let's see.
Also, quick shameless plug for my buddy Derek. Go listen to Excellently Executed. He's doing basically just a match by match look at Bret Hart's career, some fun matches and that. So a quick shameless plug
Oh
there
yeah,
for
he's your
my
buddy. I
buddy.
added him on
Oh yeah,
Twitter, or he added me on Twitter, so I added him on Twitter.
yeah, he's a good guy, and you guys that listen to it will hear a familiar voice one day. Don't worry.
Nice.
Yeah.
My God.
So, but anyway, I digress. We'll go back here to the I guess the invasion's over now at this point. They've been turned away. They went back.
Yeah, they went back and they saw the success of this skit. So over the past couple of weeks, they continued to not attack but visit and what is it, WCW or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I'm drawing blanks.
I think
I
it
apologize.
was PO, but I think it was WCW. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
That was Triple H yelling at WCW to
and
so
they did other fun skits too.
they
Like
they attacked CNN. Well, they didn't attack. They went to CNN Tower
that's right. Yeah,
because that's in conjunction with TBS or side round.
and then when Raw was in New York City, there was the whole thing of DX takes over New York, and they were just like walking the streets of New York, and they were, I mean, you can't do it today, but they were talking to all sorts of people from all walks of life, and they were like insulting people, taking a look at large chested women, so that like they were just being DX,
Mhm.
like because I mean also this summer that we're talking about with the feuding with the Nation. Let's not forget, like DX would come out and Hunter would say he's going to take it out in front of everyone, and he had the Super Soaker and he pretended to jerk off into the crowd. They would tell the girls, "Show us your tits," and they would flash like they were like it was like, and then they did blackface
Yeah,
for Christ's sake.
I was
Like,
about to. Good thing you mentioned that. I was about to say I forgot to put it in the notes, but I was
and
looking
not
up
like
the date, the date that they did the. So they mock the Nation of Domination.
the Nation of Degeneration,
Yeah, the
right?
Nation of Generation, and Sean
And
Waltman did
it wasn't
blackface.
it wasn't just X-Pac. X-Pac did it, but they all had some
Yeah.
form of blackface happening.
Yeah, he was
And
Mizark or Mizark.
and Mizark, yeah.
And it's not a
The Croc.
justification, but he went up to Mark and he asked if it was all right to do.
And that's the thing too. Like, yeah, he made sure like he is like, I don't want to offend anyone. And he said when I told him, he laughed. He said, "Awesome, let's do it.
Yeah, and he says
Like, have fun."
he says this day he regrets it. Like he still regrets it to this day.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. But it's like people say and do things all the time, right?
Not all
And
the
then,
heroin and killing China, but the blackface.
yeah. Well, then and then the hindsight being 2020. Like I said, like people do things every day, and then later that week, or later that year, or 10 years later, they look back and like, fuck, I really wish I didn't do that. I could have hurt things
Hmm.
change over time, and you look back at it. But at
And
this
he didn't
point
kill China. It was a joke.
but at this point in time, it's like this was acceptable on TV, to call gay people the F bomb,
But Lex Luger,
to
that's a different story, if you ask me.
to
Hey,
call
yeah.
to call Kane the Big Red R bomb. You got away with it. They telling girls to flash you, and they would do it to pretend to jerk off onto the crowd. They could do it to
Hmm.
blackface. You could get away with that kind of stuff, man. Like it was acceptable back then on TV. It was an edgy time frame. Like it was almost like the grunge 2.0 in a way. And DX took full advantage of it because that was their gimmick and they ran with it. And the more that they did it, the more people ate it up, the more they bought the merchandise, the more they fucking grew in popularity.
Another reason that WWF took over the ratings was WCW was asked to tone it back. TBS wanted to go in a more
That's
family
right. Yeah,
friendly
yeah.
manner, and WWF is like, "Oh, you guys are toning it back? We're cranking it up."
Yeah. And it's funny too, think about what I just said, right? Pretending to jerk off into your crowd, telling girls to flash you, doing blackface, having porn stars and pimps, guys drinking beer on TV, and your ratings are 7.0. Go clean, work more on the matches, work more on basic in-ring abilities. You're getting less than a 1. You know what I mean? Like how like people want edgy content. Uh, you all good over there?
I'm fine. I mastered
Yeah.
the cough breathe.
Like people want to see it, like and they all and DX is always like, or Hunter's always said, how like if kids are watching it, that's not on them. It's on the
Hmm.
parents for letting them watch it. Like if
Yeah.
your 11-year-old kid is watching it and then goes to school and tells them the teacher to suck it, well, maybe the parent should be more attentive to what the kid is watching and listening to.
Hmm.
Like that's it at day's end. Kid watches an action movie.
Hey, and guess
He's gonna
what? If the teacher calls you and said, "Hey, the kid said sucker," and be like, "All right, cool, I'll talk with him." Guess what? Now's the time to teach them the lesson.
yeah,
That's the opportunity to teach them the lesson. Hey, you look, when you're at the house and you're with me, 'cause if you're dad, you'd be like, you can do that stupid shit here. All right, I'm your dad. You need to know when you can and where to do it, and you can't do it at school,
exactly.
dude.
Yeah. Like think about how many kids would go out and watch an action movie. They're not going to school the next day with guns firing at everybody. But they watch an action movie, so you can't just say that they watch something so all of a sudden like it's no, it doesn't work like that. Like there's parents need to take like they just need to parents need to jump in and say to their kids like, hey, if you're gonna watch these kinds of things, you have to know what's real and what's fake.
Hmm.
I showed Carla how to wrestle the other day. She said we were watching it on TV, and she says, how come they don't get hurt? Because she was asking how come Stone Cold retired. I told her about
Hmm.
the injuries and stuff. And so, what do you mean they don't really hit each other? So I showed her like the basic, I said, you don't do this with anyone but me. And I
Dude,
put my hand.
if
I,
you broke kayfabe to your kids and they believe in Santa, I'm gonna drive over there and I'm gonna show them what MMA is by kicking your ass.
oh no, we followed that up by showing Connor how he got his name.
Oh,
So
okay.
Connor said he wants to be a wrestler like the guys that really hit. And I was like, okay, so Carla wants to be a professional wrestler. Connor wants to do MMA. I'm like, okay. No, but like that's the thing. Like, that's like it's on TV. My kids see it. Now they know what's real, what's fake, and what's acceptable and what's not.
Hmm.
Because that's what you have to do. Like otherwise, if they see it on TV and then they punch each other, that's on me for showing them. But if I
Rather
show
they
them
understand it than you keep it from them, and they don't, and then they come across it and they don't know how to interact with it.
exactly, and then this way I'm also showing them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's
Like the thing with guns, people in the South grow up with guns and they know how to use them because they grew up with them, so they know how this. Well, the safe people, they teach they teach their kids how to use them safely, and not to point them at each other and fucking kill each other.
exactly, yeah. Like you exactly. If kids need to be taught these kinds of things, and that's why like I'm sure. I mean, I never really thought about it at all, but when X-Pac comes out with that super dark blackface painted on, there might have been a couple parents that had to pull their kid aside and say something to them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like there was probably a lot of parents that didn't see the need for it.
Yeah.
And
Me as
then,
a kid seeing that, I was like, oh, they're making fun of Mark Henry.
well, that's the thing. The way that I always saw was that they were just having fun of blah blah blah. You
Mhm.
find out years later when you get older, when parents will actually or when not even parents, but
The history
when
behind
when you're
blackface.
old enough to understand those things, and you're like, oh fuck, like okay, but well, that kind of sucks. Maybe they shouldn't have done that. Then you
Right.
find out that hey, we checked with all of those guys. Do you mind if you guys say no? We're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you say yes, we're going to do it. And they said yes, so they did it. Like so
Imagine if they would have done the lips and everything.
oh fuck.
Ooh, like the real racist blackface.
Yeah, like from back like the 50s and that,
Yeah,
60s. Oof.
it's crazy
No,
that was in cartoons still.
oh man, never mind. That's the other thing too. You want to talk about how bad 90s wrestling was? Go watch some of those 1940s Bugs Bunny cartoons,
Mhm.
and then tell me that kids should be watching Bugs Bunny.
I'm
One
offended by Speedy
just one
Gonzalez.
just one cotton picking minute. Really, Bugs? Really?
I'm offended by Speedy Gonzalez. Actually, he's pretty awesome. He's wearing a charro outfit. Charro outfits are pretty cool.
What about what was his cousin?
I'm
When-
sleepy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
He's
oh, I'm so tired. I'm
always taking
sleepy.
siestas.
Yeah, I need to go take a siesta.
No, but I mean, I digress. I mean, to me, it's just like DX shit that they even pointed out the Hall of Fame induction. How many of you, like, he talks to the fans and says, how many of you got detention or suspended because of us? And everyone in the crowd blows up because it's like, Christ, I got a number of detentions for telling the teacher to suck it. I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought it was fucking funny.
Yeah,
Then you find out, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, oops. Hindsight being 2020, I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is.
yeah. I'm lucky I never got in trouble for telling anyone to suck it in school.
Never mind. Now I don't say it. I just do the crotch chop when
Yeah.
someone pisses me off. Hey, boom, done.
I was 9 or 10, so I knew I would get in trouble if I did it.
No, I was fucking 12, 13.
Still doing it?
I should have known better.
Hey, we all grow up at there's no set age at growing up. We all grow up at different rates.
The worst thing that could have happened to me was having kids because it just let me stay young.
Hey,
I'm a 35-year-old kid at this point in my life.
hey, if you guys could see around me, you guys would be like, how many kids do you have? Like, why do you have fucking 900 toys around you? Like, shut up. That's why.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I can.
Because you don't have the kids. That's why.
Yeah,
that's
because-
why. I mean, if I didn't have kids, I'd have a lot more things hanging up.
Mhm.
For sure, I would. But unfortunately, they would just destroy everything that I would ever collect.
Yeah.
Damn kids.
Well, I remember the TVs that were broken, the figs opened.
Oh, so many.
Yeah. But the figs, I understand. Figs are meant to, like, especially with kids. You can't get mad at a kid opening a toy. Like, I was saving it, man. What the fuck?
Well, there was a meme I saw the other day, and it was just that. It was a bunch of kids hanging around the birthday table. They're all holding their LJN action figures,
Mhm.
and it's captioned, "If only we knew in 30 years how much these would be worth."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because you know what? Tell that to an 8-year-old kid. Here's a brand new Hulk Hogan action figure, the first one you've ever had. Don't take it out of the box. It's going to sit on a shelf for 30 years, and then you can sell it.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that's
Good
really
luck.
worth any money is, like, you need to have it mint on card and signed.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have it mint on card, you're still only gonna get, like, tops for, like, the rarest shit, $500, and it's gotta be rare as fuck. And if you're holding out for $500 in 10 years, you
Well,
need to
that's-
look at
yeah.
a better fucking future for yourself or a better job, because 500, like, that's
but
what
that's
I
the other thing,
realized
too,
with
it's
my
like-
shit.
You got to think too, like if you have that's when you got to go out to the stores when you're a kid and buy like the one like, oh look, that Hulk Hogan's
Mhm.
in white or in blue. That one they only they don't make a lot of those ones.
Yeah.
He always wears yellow. I want the one that no one else is going to have.
Yeah,
Those ones are going to get you a couple extra more bucks, but
I don't know if I mentioned it on here. But I probably did. I told you I opened up all my defining moments figs. I said, "Fuck it." I have a signed Daniel Bryan with the 2 belts, so I didn't open that one.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember you told me about that way.
Yeah, I'm not opening that one. I think the turtles are gonna get opened as well. Let them
I think
breathe.
the turtles should just get shipped down to Windsor, is what they should be.
Psych. I might sell a super shredder because now I have 2 of them,
There you go.
and I have a Donatello open, so I'm gonna sell. So I have some figs I can sell that are sealed and mint. Like Undertaker, I had 2 Undertakers defining moments, 1 opened. So I opened 1 and 1 sealed still, so I can turn him in. Super shredder and Donatello because I already have 1 opened,
Right.
and so I have a total of 5 foot soldiers, 3 sealed, 2 open. I can turn 1 in, but
The display is going to look so much cooler when you have
5 foot soldiers.
five soldiers and Shredder about to take on the turtles.
Yeah, come on. Why would I reduce the foot
And
arm, the Foot Clan?
You got a Casey Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, so Casey Jones and the Turtles, it's 5-on-5.
Yeah.
With Shredder waiting to take on the Turtles at the end.
Yeah. You're right. You make perfect sense, Ryan. I'm opening them right after this podcast.
my toy logic.
You know what? This podcast just turned into a fucking unboxing.
You know what? Actually, you know what's funny? You should see if you could trade in any of those figures for the Ringmaster. See if you can find a Ringmaster. See if you could trade.
If I found the Ringmaster, I'd probably pull the. He probably would be. He'd probably be $20. But the thing is, right now it's rare because it's kind of old, and I would need someone to go turn in their collection that has them.
Right.
Or I need to find them loose, which might not be as rare, or I could just buy them online. Oh, I ordered a Magnum TA, so he should be coming.
Nice.
He should be coming in tomorrow. He's gonna go right along Dusty with the same pair of boots. They have the same pair of boots. I had to, dude. I've been watching fucking 85 WCW.
Magnum, man, what he could have been if not for that car crash, man.
Don't ruin it, bro. He's about to have it.
Fuck.
Don't ruin 86 for me, bro. It's about to happen. No, it's about to happen, like in a couple months.
Yeah.
But 85 started heavy with him and Tully, so he became a major component right away. So where were we? August 30th, 1998. Triple H wins the Intercontinental title in a ladder match versus a Rock. Sorry for spoiling it, but this is a match I picked. I don't know who I've covered it with, either you or with Jesus or with Jeff.
I think we did. I think we may have done this one at one point in time.
So it's early on iconic match, ladder match between two of the guys that are going to become 2 all-time greats. Triple H, one of the best heels, eventually marries Stephanie and becomes fucking owner. He owns the bitch. And then
and also this is like the this is like the culmination of that feud, because the month before they did that 30-minute Iron Man match.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a 2 out of 3 falls, and it was 1-1, and Hunter pins The Rock, and there's a 30-minute time limit to what it was. And as Hunter gets the pin, it goes 1, 2, 30 minutes is up, bell rings, 3. So Hunter thinks he wins the title, but he actually misses it by 1 second, which sets up the ladder match to I think it was billed the last chance you could get, or his last opportunity at The Rock's title kind of thing.
The Rock says,
"Oh, I missed those Rock promos when he had that deep voice and he was very serious as he was talking smack."
I showed you my Ultimate Edition Finn, right? I have too many Finns. I have 5 Finn demons. I need that Rock Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition Rock?
Yeah, I need him. And when Austin comes, I'm going to, like, certain figs I'm going to get, but then there's certain figs that I don't know how many copies I need of them.
I love how you word that so much.
Warrior, you son of a bitch. There's so many Warriors. So right now in that same Royal Rumble wave of Austin, because I picked up Austin, he's got silver lettering, bro. He's got a different vest on. I had to have it.
You got to get it.
Yeah. Warrior comes with the yellow Intercontinental strap.
Nice.
So I need to get him. And he comes with 2 heads, so I'll probably get him. Finn, I have 5 different Finns because they're all different. And I have Macho Men and Macho Kings.
I was gonna say I need to get a Macho for my set. I don't have a lot too many guys, but I need to get a Macho.
I have
especially after our Macho episode that we did, or
Yeah.
the two of them that we did. There, I realized I need to get a Macho for my set.
I have two Macho Kings, Macho Man from WrestleMania 7, and Macho Man from WrestleMania 3, and I have
Nice.
Macho Man from the Wolfpack.
Right? Yeah, I remember that guy. You showed me that one.
I'm missing NWO White Wolf or regular. That one's
Oh,
kind of rare because
Hollywood NWO.
yeah, he came out a while ago. It's kind of pricey up there, but we'll move on. Um, yeah, no, this match, the ladder match, I enjoyed this match because they did something different. They put a different twist on the ladder match. In terms
Well, and
of
like
it
the
was,
ladder matches that we knew had a lighter guy in
mhm,
like the two that are more iconic are
yeah,
obviously Shawn and Razor, both SummerSlam and WrestleMania 10, obviously,
yeah,
but you had the one guy who was a little bit bigger, more of a brute, and then you had the one guy who's smaller, more agile, and he could take jumps off the ladders and stuff like that. And this match here didn't have the guy like either. Neither guy was really known for top rope ability, so it was much more of like a grueling ladder match. Of it's not you're going to see the guys beat each other down, um, and not necessarily like taking the high risk maneuvers.
yeah. They can't really. They'll take the bumps off the ladder, but they're not jumping off the ladder. They're not going off the ropes as much as Sean would, and
Yeah,
especially because you had Razor that could just catch him and soften the blow for uh, Sean. But yeah, you had two big guys going at it, and they just hit a lot of different spots that the iconic ladder, the two before this, had put on. So I wanted to revisit it a bit. Um, and it ends with who was it that threw the salt or the powder in Triple H's face?
Mark Henry. Mark Henry
Okay,
comes
yeah,
down
from the Nation, yeah. So he comes down with the Rock and
because I think
China.
it's around. I think it's around this time also that
Yes.
the Mark Henry and China had their thing. I think we actually kind of covered it
Hmm.
last year when we were doing a couple of the pay per views that, and then the Raws afterwards that Mark Henry was trying to get with China, and there was like restraining orders and stuff like
China.
that. So even though they're not really having matches, there's still like that weird nation. Because Mark Henry was one of those weird guys. He was in the nation, but then he had a lot of segments where he wasn't in the nation and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, and then so China, of course, is going to step in and disrupt everything.
Hmm. Um, yeah, because Mark threw the powder in his face, and then the Rock hits the Rock bottom, tries to get the 3 count, or no, tries to go for the ladder spot, can't get it. Triple H hits the pedigree. I forgot how he eventually gets it.
Um,
He goes up all blinded. I remember that his face is all white.
yeah,
He's like,
I remember him going
ah.
up blinded, but I want to say that the Rock's climbing the ladder and China low blows him too.
Okay.
And the Rock that could have been a different part of the match, but I remember, yeah, the Rock was climbing. He ends up going down, and Hunter ends up um, scaling to the top and getting the belt off and celebrating.
Mm-hmm. This is purple strap, right? Purple strap IC belt.
Was I didn't think so.
The black strap.
I thought it was the black strap. You could be right though. I remember the purple strap being a bit later, but I could be wrong. I'm not too sure on that one.
I have a Rock purple strap fig.
Nice. Nice.
Let's see. Um, so Sean returns after his long hiatus, but he's not ready for in-ring action. Um, in late '98, November 23rd.
Yeah, this is so he come. This is after The Rock has joined.
Yeah, the corporation's formed now.
He's joined the corporation after Survivor Series, and it's either the next night or the following week. The following, I forget if it's either 8 days later or the next night, but he takes on X Pac in a title match, and X Pac has him beat, and Shawn Michaels comes in. The referee's distracted, and Shawn Michaels gets into the ring and hits X Pac with Sweet Chin Music, and The Rock gets the 1-2-3, and Shawn Michaels has left DX and is joined in with the corporation,
Mm-hmm.
to the shock and dismay of all the fans.
Yeah. And it's a short stint with him. I'm guessing because of Sean's personal issues.
Yeah, like they would bring him on and off. Like he would be either on TV in person, or I remember they did a couple of segments leading up to even WrestleMania, when Sean was at I think they said it was at Sean's house, and Austin is there talking, and so he was on TV, like even like so like 6 months, 4 months later, but it's very scattered. It's not He's not like a very regular personality.
Mm-hmm. The corporation turns on Sean in January 1999, and then Sean he rejoins DX. So we actually have a full squad for a little bit here.
Yeah, they kicked him out of the corporation, but they never took away the commissioner thing, because that was the thing, right? He became the commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's where kind of bit them in the ass. Was the angle was that he was still technically commissioner, so he could overturn things at WrestleMania and stuff. So even though he was no longer part of the corporation, he was still under contract as commissioner, so he could screw over Vince for Vince embarrassing him and kick him out of the corporation and stuff like that. So
And then January 25th, 1999, China turns on Triple H, joining the corporation in a fucking shocking turn of events. What the fuck?
yeah.
What's going on, brother? This
Oh,
don't make no sense.
she found Stephanie's number in his pocket.
Yeah, so she went to go do some surveillance herself.
Yeah.
In depth, real close.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really fun too, because this like, yeah, 'cause this is, well, not a lot of fun. This is where it kind of gets, DX becomes like that NWO that I was telling you about, where it kind of gets convoluted, where guys are turning on each other and they're joining the corporation and they're not in the corporation, and then they are in the corporation, and then
Yeah,
they
so the a little bit before this, back in January, the Outlaws joined, but they don't. Sean's trying to bait them into joining, and they're like, yeah, but they don't. It's a ruse on DX's part.
bless you, sir.
Thank you. But yeah, so we have a little bit of, are they turning on each other? What's going on? So. March 9th, 1999, WrestleMania 15. China turns on Kane, part of the corporation. Kane is part of the corporation. And later on,
In the European title match, Shane versus X-Pac.
yeah, China turns on X-Pac. China and Triple H turn on X-Pac.
Yeah, they come out because there was, I think it was a test. I forget. Someone was at ringside interfering, and Triple H comes in and hits X-Pac with the pedigree, and Shane gets the 1-2-3, and then they start laying the boots to X-Pac, and the Outlaws come out, and Triple H and China take off, and to me, that's it. There's a match that you have coming up, and there are some little bits here and there, but to me, that's the end of DX right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, what we're gonna touch on, but it'll be quick. We'll touch on pretty much what's left of it, but there's not much left of meat on the bones.
No.
After this, so after Triple H and China joined the corporation, pretty much, Kane leaves the corporation because he got turned on. So it was in a weird turn of events. Since he got turned on by China, he left the corporation, but then China and Triple H joined the corporation.
Yeah.
So Kane leaves, and kind of forms he does form a tag team with X-Pac. They win the titles twice, and they kind of tease at Kane joining the faction, but this leads to tension with Billy Gunn because Kane's not really a member, but he's there, and then they win the titles, X-Pac and Kane. So that failure leads to tension in between Road Dogg and Billy Gunn and DX.
Yeah. And you're missing one big key moment also.
Which one?
Suck
August 9th.
Like
August
that was
9th, yeah.
Good God Almighty! I think those are the first words Kane spoke on TV.
So he said it after Fully Loaded, because Fully Loaded, July 25th, 1999, they fight for the rights of the DX name. So this is one of the matches I picked. It's Badass Billy Gunn in China. I don't know why they're dressed the same. They're pretty much wearing a thong with sheer see-through shorts, versus Road Dogg and X Pac.
And this is the weird thing too, is it's like China's like in the corporation,
China.
but then we also have the corporate ministry starting up here, so it kind of gets even more convoluted. And then we got, China's teaming up with Billy Gunn, even though she's betrayed. Like Billy Gunn, like I don't get, like he could just pieced it out and said, you know what, fine, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want it? I'm done. See you later. But like, no, I'm gonna team with someone that we don't trust, and I'm not gonna join the corporation with. She's just gonna come out and help. Like it was just a bizarre thing. What were they gonna have Billy Gunn in China be DX? Like how would that have like? Again, I just don't really see how that storyline could have played out any which way.
Yeah, and I picked a match thinking it was going to be a better match. It wasn't that great of a match. I just wanted to kind of remember how China did, and she was a pretty good worker. I'll give her that much.
She held her own in the match, but
Yeah.
but at the same time, like I don't know. I feel like her matches with Jericho and Jeff Jarrett were better, and I don't know if it's just like the tag team atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know what it is, like, but
yeah, I don't know what it was either. Maybe she just had a better chemistry with those other two dudes. But so X Pac and Road Dogg win the rights to use DX, kind of leading to Billy Gunn departing from the group. And
I mean, and they tried to push Billy Gunn too a lot in this time frame.
Mm-hmm.
They give him the King of the Ring, but he can't get over with The Rock, and his mic skills were good, but I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like the fans just couldn't get behind him. There was just something with Billy Gunn that didn't click. Like as a tag team, Smoking Guns, he got over. New Age Outlaws, he got over. Even Chuck and Billy, he got over. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, as a singles competitor, he always struggled.
Yeah. June 9th, China competes in the King of the Ring tournament. I don't think she's in DX anymore. Like you said, it's kind of DX's. She's just coming out as her own thing.
Yeah, like I remember even X Pac and Road Dogg, when they would come out, they weren't called DX. I remember them saying that coming down their aisle, blah 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 blah, Road Dogg and X Pac.
Yeah.
And then like it was just a bizarre little. I don't know. I think it's done at this point. Like they try to keep some of the music, they try to keep the suck it, they try to keep the this and that, but it's really not there anymore.
It's over, bro.
Yeah.
Triple H wins his first title. I didn't put the date on here, but in between June and October.
He wins it the night after SummerSlam, because Mankind pins Hunter for the title because Austin wouldn't go over, or Austin wouldn't put Hunter over, so they put Mankind over, and then the next night on Raw, Mankind defends it against Hunter because Hunter just broke JR's arm, so he gets the title shot, and he beats Mankind for his title.
Yeah, so this is a 99. Triple H wins his first world title. October 17th, China wins the IC belt from Jarrett in that housekeeping match.
Yeah, it's basically just a hardcore match.
Yeah, with house.
But basically just because of the fact that, Jeff Jarrett was doing that womanizer, woman's place is in the house, in the kitchen, blah, 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 blah. So it was a good housekeeping match. And, I mean, wasn't great. It was, they wanted to try and keep Jeff Jarrett as best they could, I guess. I don't know if it was this match or if they had one more, but basically his contract ran up. And I don't know if they were trying to work on it or did they just let it run out, but they were trying their best to let him keep character and keep face. And so you didn't want to have him go over clean. So you have him lose by getting hit with a guitar and pinned because, it's a hardcore match. Anything can happen.
Raw, October 25th. The group forms as villains or as heels.
Yeah, Yeah, this is the one where I was done. Like I remember this they started doing photo shoots as DX, but they were like in pinstripe suits with fedoras and smoking
Mm.
cigars and driving fancy yeah, driving fancy cars. Um I like it was it's not DX anymore, right? It's like
No.
this was like corporate DX. It gets
Yeah.
over at this point. Like they're done. Like there's no need to keep this going.
Yeah. X Pac turns on Kane on October 26th.
Steals his
Um,
girl,
yeah, he steals his girl.
Tori.
Yeah, they show up on January 27th. In the DX Express, I think it is, or
Yeah.
yeah, and then Steph and him get married, or in kayfabe they get married. Eventually, they do get married.
Date rape.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
I remember
Like,
seeing that as a kid and not knowing what the hell I was watching.
yeah, I
Not
figured like
knowing that that was a bad thing. Well, knowing it was like ha 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 ha. He got them.
yeah, 'cause she was supposed to marry Test, and then the big wedding surprise from the ex was that was the tape.
She got a little bit.
Yeah, I love how like when they're saying the drive-through marriage thing, whatever. And do you take this guy to be your husband? And Hunter's like turns his head towards like, and he's
Yes.
like, oh yes, I do. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
But I will say the one funny thing I laugh at it because I think it's hilarious still is when they're doing the wedding presents for Hunter and X Pac gives him this box. He goes, "Here, I got this for Seth to wear on your honeymoon," and he opens it up and it's empty. He's like, Pac, there's nothing in here. She has nothing to wear, and he's like, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fucking good God. Like I don't know. I still find that joke funny. Like I don't the date rape thing not funny, but the
Mhm.
empty box is like here. She can wear this on your honeymoon. I will laugh at that till the day I die. I guarantee it.
Uh,
I wonder if Hunters has to sit down with his daughters ever, and after they watch that segment, and he has to explain to his daughters about that angle,
it's kayfabe. Got
and
some
the
real
Katie Vick, and
explaining,
then
and
the Katie Vick angle.
they gotta understand. I guess like you gotta have some people very understanding and
Yeah,
the right time to explain it to them. I don't know.
oh for sure.
Let's see. At WrestleMania 2000, April 2nd, 2000, Vince turns on The Rock, and Triple H joins him, forming the McMahon Hensley Alliance.
Yeah.
So is this even DX anymore?
Nah, this is like I said, DX was long done at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They reunited and they did their stupid little like reunion thing as they were corporate DX, and then they brought in this and that, but it was long gone. The McMahon Helmsley faction, whatever, it's not DX. Like it was never the same anymore. China really wasn't in the group anymore because of the Stephanie angle. Uh, I don't know, like they didn't have that edge to them anymore, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Hunter was like, I think also the fact that Hunter just comes back and he's like just jacked also. Like when he started winning the titles and he was like clearly on some help. He like it, I don't know, he like, there was like his character was so different from the Hunter Hearst Helmsley at this point in time that it's not the same. It didn't flow well.
It's not DX anymore. I like it, but it's not DX anymore. You can't run it as DX anymore.
No.
Let's
And they
see.
did, and I feel like they didn't even really try to. They tried to say that they were DX,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like whereas the NWO would keep it going,
Yeah.
the DX would just come out like Hunter had like didn't even have the DX theme song half the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yeah, like it just wasn't DX. Like they were just like basically a bunch of buddies hanging out.
Let's see. So after the McMahon Hensley alliance or whatever, Billy Gunn and the New Age Outlaws join as well, but Billy Gunn gets hurt in early 2000, so he's out with an injury, and slowly the group starts to fall apart again. X-Pac and Road Dogg started a feud with each other, the same reason that Billy Gunn and this guy were. They were failing as a tag team, they couldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
So they kind of just split as well, and Triple H is kind of just left on his own. He's a solo star.
Well, I mean,
China's no longer there. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say like right after WrestleMania at Backlash, by then, I think that Backlash is like when he comes out with Shane and Vince. And it's not until The Rock's about to almost beat Hunter that DX comes out for the save before Taker makes his return. I think we watched that one last year. The Backlash 2000. I think we watched that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, he's associating more with Vince and Shane than he is with DX at this point in time. The only time DX comes out is when, like I said, the match was basically over, and they just wanted to get some quick heat.
Yeah. They November 6th, DX reunites to feud with the Radicals, leading to a couple of feuds or a couple of matches with them, where eventually the Radicals win at the pay-per-view.
Yep.
July 22nd, 2002. DX reunites again, Shawn and Triple H. But it's just not good anymore.
See, this is where you get something good. Like,
sorry.
they get their reunion.
Sorry, I'm off a little bit here. So
yeah,
this is 2002. So
they do the reunion where
the fake
Hunter
reunion
turns.
where
Hunter attacks Shawn after they do
Shawn
their pose.
Shawn tries to. He's trying to get Triple H into a match, but Triple H doesn't want to face him, and then eventually Triple H says, "Come on, let's just form DX again." They form DX, and like you said, Triple H attacks Shawn.
And Shawn gets hit by a car. No, Shawn gets attacked outside, and Triple H is livid and shaking everyone down. Who the fuck did it? And
this
Shawn
is a
Michaels
long feud.
Shawn Michaels had, dude, the 1984 technology that Shawn used on that parking lot video to break down the pixels to see that it was Triple H. I mean, it was one of the worst segments ever. Like he's like, I zoomed in, and it's like the boxes just got, like, they were giant boxes, just got smaller and smaller until finally you could see it was Triple H. But it was something from the 80s, man. Like, it was like the technology was so much better at this point in time for them to be using what they did. But yeah, like, this sets up the fantastic run. God, it goes on forever.
Yeah,
like, it
like
goes
2 years.
It goes on to the, like, Evolution forms.
It ends with at Hell in a Cell in 2004, June 13th.
Yeah, because it goes into WrestleMania when Benoit wins the title, and Shawn Michaels is in that match. It kept on going.
June 12th, 2006, Triple H just taking on the Spirit Squad in a gauntlet match. Shawn comes out to help them, and they reform DX after they both kind of look at each other, and they throw up the X, and they bump.
And actually, it was funny because it was, if you go back and watch WrestleMania that year, it's the street fight Shawn, because this was a big thing. The McMahons trying to screw over Shawn and screw over Hunter at the same time. And in their respected matches, Shawn versus Vince, Shawn's on top of the ladder, throws the suck it, and then dives. And then in the match against John Cena, Hunter throws up a suck it. So they're kind of letting you know at WrestleMania what's around the corner. And then obviously the Spirit Squad, they had a couple things where Hunter could have helped Shawn but didn't, and then Shawn could have helped Hunter and didn't. And then finally they just decided, like, fuck it, let's just take these guys out. And I don't care. Like, I'll say this, I enjoyed this reunion, this 06 one, because it was toned down from the 90s, but it was old school DX, man. Like, you know, when Vince was talking to Vince and the Spirit Squad are on the entrance ramp, talking to Shawn and Hunter, and they're going back and forth. And they said, and Hunter's like, what's that smell? It smells like, and then like a bunch of shit just falls from the sky. All that, and Vince and Shane and the Spirit Squad are like fumbling to get off the trying to get up in it, but they keep on slipping and falling. And DX comes out dressed up as Vince and Shane.
Yeah.
And they put on the that old 1980s music video, and they just start dancing like idiots to it. And
they had to tweak their style, you know. They
had to make it more PG because of the era. But they did a fun job. Like, they were able to make, they come on, I Love Cox.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff that they were doing. Like, when they would go to the computers and they were like Vince would be speaking and they'd change his voice, so his voice would go super high pitched, and then he would be muted, and then he would like,
Yeah.
it was stupid, but it was great.
So the comedy was corny, but I think when they got into a good rivalry or a good feud, they put on. Um, let's see. So what is this?
Well, they
January
even
7th, 2007. Did I skip? Yeah, I skipped.
but
Sorry.
they even took it too because okay, so where you're at right now is but to say right around this time is when they're going to start that rivalry with Rated RKO
Yeah, I
and
skipped ahead a little bit.
Edge and Orton come out just as DX, so
Yeah.
they took it just as well as they gave it.
Yeah, so November 6th, 2000, or November 5th, 2006, DX takes on Rated RKO and they lose. You know, they're putting over newer talent, and RKO is a serious tag team, which at this time, I was a sophomore. No, I was a junior in high school. Holy shit. Um,
Yeah, I was running a restaurant at this point in time, so
aye.
fuck me.
November 26th, 2006, DX and the Hardys and CM Punk take on Rated RKO, Gregory Helms, Johnny Nitro, and Mike Knox in a Survivor Series match.
And they clean sweep them, right?
Yeah, they sweep them.
Yeah.
So like I said, when they get into rivalries, they start getting into serious matches. Not so much the comedy, but the matches. And then this is where I skipped ahead to January 7th, 2007. Triple H tears his quad against Rated RKO at the New Year's resolution. Shawn uses the DX until Backlash of April that year. So he even comes out at WrestleMania with when he faces
Well,
the
yeah, because
Undertaker.
this was where he came out and said um enters the Royal Rumble and he says he's going to win it for Shawn, or he's going to win it for Hunter, and he's going to go and he's going to win the title. And at the Royal Rumble, Undertaker eliminates him, so he doesn't get the title shot, but he ends up winning some, I don't know how many matches or whatever the angle was, but he ends up winning his right to fight John Cena to win to fight for the title at WrestleMania. I remember being a fairly good match. Cena obviously is going to get the win over HBK because when Shawn made his comeback, they gave him the World Heavyweight title, and he dropped it quickly to Hunter, and he said he didn't want the titles anymore. He wanted to just go out there and perform. He didn't want to have the stress of being the champion and having to all that extra. Like he said, like just give me the matches and we're good.
That's all you need, brother.
Well, that's it. He was happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different time. Right before he wanted the title because that was the prestige, and then he said, you know what? He was a different man at this point in time of his life, and he was good to just go in and out.
Same year, 2009, in August 17th, they reunite to take on Legacy. And this is going to lead into a series of matches, like a regular match and then a submission anywhere's match. I guess the first one ever. And it's going to end with one that I picked because I wanted to check out. I've never seen it. I was already in college. I was at U of I already at this time. The Hell in a Cell Hell in a Cell match, October 4th, 2009.
Yeah, and this was a fun one too because I at this point I was kind of in and out. I would catch Raw here and there, but I didn't follow it as hard, so I wasn't too familiar with this rivalry. So I went and I kind of checked out a little bit of it, but
A little serious of a rivalry, right?
it was a good one.
Yeah.
And it's fun too because you got that Orton connection from the Rated RKO,
Yeah.
but you get it with the different guys at this point in time with Rhodes and DiBiase.
The legacies, bro.
But yeah, so like, it was fun the way that attacked them on the way out and isolating Shawn. So you got you have a handicap Hell in a Cell match with Hunter stuck outside the ring or outside the cage. And Legacy just working over Shawn, just going after the knees, going after just taking their turns, going back and forth.
Because they lock out Triple H, so they attack Shawn and Triple H are out first. They attack them right away, and they leave Triple H out on the
They're
Titantron or
their
the
entrance there.
and they lock the gate, and the ref's like, "All right, I guess I have to start it," and he starts it. They beat the shit out of Sean. They're kicking the crap out of him, and then
Hunter just leaves.
yeah, he wakes up and they're taunting him, and he can't get in. He's like, "I'm sorry, bro," and then like he says something to Sean. Sean starts mounting a comeback by landing super kicks and knocking them out, but then they come back and they start kicking the shit out of him again. Hunter's gone. Eventually comes back with some bolt cutters, gets in, but Sean's out. The match kind of ends kind of quickly though, because
Yeah, they come out with he comes with the bolt cutters. They toss out uh DiBiase, toss him out and
well,
relock the
so a
cage.
second ref comes out because he's got a second chain because they cut him with the bolt cutters. So a
Yeah.
second ref comes out. Triple H punches the ref and takes the, or no, he just takes the chain. I don't think he punches him. I think he just takes the chain from him, and then he punches DiBiase with the chain, and then he
Yeah.
throws out DiBiase, locks him out, and they beat up Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, they finish it with the combination sledgehammer shot and super kick.
Yeah, the grandson of a plumber. How dare they? They did it to my baby boy.
Cody Rhodes, as he's laying there looking up, and he says, 1, 2, 3. He says, the first chance I get some of that oil money, I'm starting my own company.
Yeah. My son, if I may, the American Nightmare.
Fuck. And then, then DiBiase gets brought back in, though. And then he takes a super kick also, and DX celebrates.
Yeah, because he comes in to check on his boy, and they fuck him up anyway. Because they're DX.
And I forget if it was this one or if it was I think it was actually the 2006. They actually had a good Hell in a Cell match also. Handicap against Vince, Shane, and Big Show. And Big Show gets knocked with a chair or a sledgehammer, and he ends up he's on the top ropes, but his neck is on the top rope. He's leaning forward. His arms are draped over, and they get Vince's head rammed straight up Big Show's ass.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then then DX gets the pin and then the win on that one too. I think that was the 06, 07 era DX. No, not this one. Because after this one here, after this, the next pay per view here is my last match, the Jerry Show, and DX match.
Yeah.
The TLC.
Right away. Yeah. On December 13th, I'm guessing 1999. At the TLC match, DX takes on Jericho, and Big Show for the unified WWE Tag Team Championship. So they have the Raw and the Tag Team Championships, which is pretty cool. They have 4 titles up there.
Yeah.
I love titles. Give me titles. And this is DX's first tables, ladders, and chairs match. So they're pumping that up. Like I said, if they get a good feud going, DX is gonna put on, and this is a good match.
This is a great match too, because also Jericho and Shawn work well together. Jericho and Hunter work well together, and then you get the Big Show who can take those bigger bumps. So you can hit him with the chair, you can hit him with a lap. You can kind of get away with him, and he can take that shot because of it. He's a little bit bigger. He can take that little extra punishment.
Yeah.
That Jericho might not be able to. Jericho can do a finesse move that Big Show can't do.
Yeah, there's some spots too that you need the Big Show for when he picks up Shawn and throws him at Triple H through a table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more believable when you have Big Show Irish whipping Shawn into Triple H into the ladder, and Shawn takes the crazy ass tumble. It's more believable from a giant than from the smallest guy in the match. Well,
exactly. Yeah.
He's about the same size, I guess, as Shawn. Chris Jericho is.
Yeah.
But he's actually in pretty good shape here.
No, he's in great shape at this point in time. But it was good too, DX mounting the comeback here and there, but still the Big Show's able to knock it down and prevent it.
He's got his big punch to the chair that knocks out Triple H.
Yep.
He destroys one of the ladders, which eventually leads to the spot where Jericho tries to get up on the single side of the ladder where the Big Show holds it for him, but they stop him.
And then Jericho climbs on Big Show's shoulders at the very end. And it's the one it's the one thing that kind of sucks is this match was fantastic. I mean, and there's no faulting anybody because Jericho's jumping off of another human's body. He's not jumping off the rope, so he doesn't have as much give. Like it's going to be a stiffer jump. So when Sean hits Big Show with Sweet Chin Music and Big Show turns and Jericho jumps off his shoulders through the table, but he misses the table. And it's just because it's no fault of anyone's except just that Jericho is trying to do a spot off of someone's shoulders, and it just, it's a trickier move than if, say, he's on the top turnbuckle and Show gets kicked into him and he falls off. It would be easier for him to do because he's used to taking bumps off the ropes than bumps off of shoulders.
Yeah, there's a lot of timing that takes place in that kind of.
Yeah. And then one of my favorite endings, I think, to any ladder match is Hunter holding the ladder and Sean climbing up. So as Hunter's bracing the ladder, Sean's able to climb up and get the titles. And in a stat that doesn't seem possible, but it's the only time that Sean and Hunter were tag team champions together.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all their original DX runs, they never got it. The reunion, they never got it. Like, this is the only time that they'd ever won the tag titles, which is just bizarre.
And it's funny, at one point in time, there was 2 titles within the faction. And when it was the original faction, just him and Sean. But it was the European and the heavyweight.
They both had a title there. The tag titles were on the Outlaws. I mean, if you want to say like DX is a tag team, like if you say DX is the whole, because the Outlaws weren't DX, right? They were in DX, but they were the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
So you could technically say the only time that DX were the tag team champions were Sean and Hunter in a way you can say it. And they lose them fairly quickly. It's not like a really long title reign. They have a good match on the Christmas Eve. If it's Raw or SmackDown, but they take on the Hart Legacy.
Yeah, so they win them in December and they lose them in February.
Yeah, it's a quick in and out thing, and I think it was just more about
to show Miz in a triple threat elimination tag match.
Yeah, and I think Jericho got hurt. I think that's why Big Show had to change his partner. I'm not sure, but I think them getting the titles was more like an honor thing. Like, hey, Sean's going to be... He knew that his next match was going to be against Taker. Like, that was how the angle was going. And I think they were just going to put the titles on them just to take them from them and start up the Sean and Taker rivalry and let Hunter go off to do his thing with Orton again and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was what it was. They got to kind of complete their chapter. How they they started out together, they finished off together, and they DX, they get their the special Raws, like the 25th anniversary, 20th anniversary, like whatever 1000th episode, whatever. They come out and they'll bring out Hornswoggle as a member, and Mike Tyson comes out as a member, and they do funny stuff like that. But by this point in time, like it's no longer like 2010. It's officially finished. It's gone. It's done. They'll pop up here and there just as a hello, and that's it.
Yeah, like at reunions or like at Raw 1000.
Yeah, just like those like special things. Like they'll come out and that's it. And then they finally get into the Hall of Fame, deservedly so. And
with China,
it's all 5 of them. Plus, they break out China as well.
I have that China and Triple H, the China with both titles.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I picked it up.
Oh yeah, no, I think
recently.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, opened it up too. Part of the display.
Part of the
Triple H's. There are like 3 or 4 Triple H's. Too many.
It's but no, it's they have a fantastic run. They were super important to that era. They were controversial. They were outspoken. They did things their way. Like when Vince said don't do it, they went out and they did it anyway. Like Hunter and Sean were like Sean was able to get away with a lot of shit, and I think because of that, Hunter was able to eventually get away with a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And they utilized it, and when Vince okayed them to do things that other companies might have frowned on, Hunter took it and he ran with it.
Yeah. Good shit, brother. Good shit. That was DX. We went through their whole history. I hope you guys enjoyed what we spit at you guys. DX. That's pretty much. Yeah, that was all at DX. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think that was it then too. I don't recall them being back since. Oh, you know what? That no, the Super Show would have made have. Oh, the Super Show may have been afterwards, but like that was like the Kane and Undertaker, like those one-off matches, like we were talking. But
Mm-hmm.
they weren't like it wasn't really DX against the Brothers of Destruction as much as it was Hunter and Sean versus Kane and Taker. Like it wasn't. They were always built differently at this point in time.
All right, Ryan. I want to thank you for joining me once again on the Full Heel Podcast.
I appreciate it. I always have fun coming on and doing this stuff.
Yeah. Um, shoot me any ideas you got for next week, or if you got time for next week. But that way I can do some notes like I did for this week too. I think they really help out to keep track and just
Yeah,
hit
for
and
sure.
pinpoint times. Yeah. So thanks a lot, everyone, for listening. Do you got any final words, Ryan, before we get out of here?
No, just honestly, everyone just stay safe, stay healthy in this crazy wild time. It just seems to be the same thing I say every time. But honestly, Raph, again, I thank you for letting me come on and relive my childhood. And congratulations again on the managerial push that you're getting. It's a well deserved. So
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
yeah, just keep kicking ass and taking names.
Yep. Classes start soon. Back to school, brother.
I love that movie.
Please subscribe to the podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like. Drop your comments. Do all that good stuff. On iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, all that good stuff. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Degeneration X. I don't know. We'll come at you with something next week. I don't know what, but it'll be something. If not, tune in for the Fight Companion. There should be a Fight Companion this weekend. I think it's Overeem versus Volkov, or
Yeah.
So tune in for that one. Toucan should be coming by. Maybe Jesus, and maybe I'll get to unveil my first pair of Jordans. Dun dun dun.
And Frankie better start doing something with football and Full Heel because Manchester United's kicking ass, and he's the second Manchester United starts winning, Frankie just disappears off the face of the earth. I'm calling you out, boy.
Don't blame
Me
me.
and you 1-on-1 in the cage.
Don't blame me. That's not me stopping them.
No, that's
Just so you
Frankie
know.
with his Liverpool bias.
Damn, you heard that, Frankie?
I'm coming for you.
You heard that, Tony Schiavone? Ryan Dempsey's coming for you, Frankie. And you better believe it. He's coming at you hard, brother. Hard and quick. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Because he is the world heavyweight champion. Sorry, the United States world heavyweight champion. Because I'll get my belt right now, Ryan. You trying to challenge me? Trying to challenge me? All right.
After I beat Frankie 1, 2, 3, clean in the ring, I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you, daddy. All right, guys. I'll see you guys Saturday, and peace out. Where's that song? Play that fucking track.